If you are considering making a move to Canada, you may want to take a few minutes out of your day to think again about your plan after watching this video. Because here in this video, we will discuss 10 reasons not to move to Canada. The video is going to be interesting, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more future updates. Let's get into the video. Number 10. High cost of living. The cost of living in Canada is relatively high when compared to other nations. For instance, if you reside in Toronto or Vancouver, a one-bedroom flat will often cost you $2,000 a month, and occasionally even more. Prices for single-family homes, which are houses without any other attachments, start at $1 million in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. Additionally, the cost of a mobile is outrageous, costing up to $80 to $100 per month. Canada has a fairly high alcohol cost when it comes to drinking. Number 9. The job markets. Let's move on to the next factor that can make you reconsider relocating to Canada, the labor market. That is not to say that you won't be able to find employment in Canada. Rather, we believe that you will be able to obtain employment in a position that pays well and is equivalent to the one you held in your home country. Although there's a chance you'll work in the same field, it will probably take some time for you to move up the corporate ladder and return to your previous position. If you attend a job interview, you'll observe that there is intense rivalry and that many people who are overqualified are waiting to get a well-paying job. In essence, your credentials make you eligible to migrate to Canada, but not necessarily for your profession in this country. Number 8. Homelessness and drug usage. In the majority of Canadian cities, drug abuse and homelessness are major issues. This doesn't imply that you despise the poor or those who battle substance misuse, but it could make you feel uneasy. At least one encounter with a homeless person should occur each day if you want to travel to areas like downtown Toronto or Montreal. Therefore, if you've never visited a large city, you might want to keep these things in mind when traveling to Canada. When someone is under the influence of some substance, it can happen that they start spazzing out in public or yelling at people without cause. It can occasionally become frightful, especially at night. However, if you drive, this will happen to you much less frequently than if you rely on public transportation. Number 7. Canadian credentials. Additionally, you need Canadian credentials, which is another reason not to relocate to Canada. What does that actually mean? The Great White North doesn't appear to care all that much about your qualifications, so you'll need to get experience and adjust to the Canadian work market. You might be required to revalidate your credentials or go through another procedure, such as returning to school, in order to bring your credentials up to date in compliance with the requirements set forth by the Canadian government. The overall state of the work market in Canada is not something to look forward to in any way. Obviously, this is something that is going to be determined by the region that you go to, as well as the education and experience that you have. Number 6. Not much to do. Canada is a somewhat dull country, even inside its big cities, unless you reside in the downtown areas of Montreal or Toronto. So Canada doesn't offer many options if you're the kind of person who enjoys attending festivals, bars, clubs, or anything else of the sort. Even in big cities like Vancouver, hiking, paddleboarding, and other outdoor activities seem to be what most people do on the weekends. Therefore, downtown Montreal and downtown Toronto are the only places where you can find a lot of events, festivals, or other big city activities. Number 5. Poor transportation. First and foremost, if you want to reside somewhere like the Greater Toronto or Greater Vancouver areas, you'll probably require a car. This is due to the fact that public transport is subpar and doesn't always go everywhere. In general, Canada's public transport system is terrible. Because most Canadian cities are large and dispersed, a lot of people prefer cars in this country. It will therefore take some getting used to if you relocate from a location with excellent public transport and then find yourself in Hamilton, Ontario. Additionally, if you're taking public transportation, you should allow yourself an extra half hour to reach your destination because it's very possible that the tube may break down while you're traveling and force you to take an alternate route. Number 4. Lack of C-suite roles. It is regret to inform you that you cannot climb the corporate ladder and obtain the prestigious position of CEO. The Financial Post, one of Canada's leading newspapers, has dubbed the country as having a condo/crude/cannabis economy. This means that there aren't many globally competitive industries in Canada, And as a result, there aren't many prestigious C-suite positions available. You also need solid references in Canada's job market in order to land a respectable position. Number 3. Credit history. You won't be able to bring your credit history with you to Canada, which is the second reason you shouldn't relocate there. Regardless of how diligently you worked or how conscientiously you paid your bills on time, you will have to say goodbye to your credit history and establish a new one in Canada. This makes it extremely difficult to obtain a credit card, a mortgage, or any other type of credit in Canada because it will take time to establish a solid credit history and score. This is just something to keep in mind while you plan your relocation. It doesn't mean you can't do it. By the way, keep in mind that you'll need a dependable mover regardless of which state you choose to call your new home. Since moving to a new state is a fairly complicated task, hiring professionals to assist you will be beneficial. Number 2. Pay high taxes. When compared to other nations, Canada has high tax rates. We pay a variety of taxes, including those on our income, property, sales, and other goods and services. Your tax rate may go up based on your salary. People who earn more money pay higher taxes to the government. These hefty taxes are being used, though. Our free healthcare and education are supported by it. In the end, paying high taxes may result in lower healthcare and education costs than in the U.S. You won't be required to pay for this until you are a citizen of Canada. Number 1. The weather. The first reason you shouldn't relocate to Canada is likely the first thing that comes to mind when you consider this country, the weather. Now, based on where you're moving from, you may already be somewhat accustomed to the cold climate and different seasons. Even if you appreciate the snow and look forward to winter activities, or if you simply feel cold weather to be better for your health, you can still find Canada to be too much even if you don't hate the cold. In places like Vancouver and Winnipeg, it's not unusual for the temperature to drop to -40 degrees during the winter. But what might surprise people more is how hot it can get during the summer. And here we have it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.